All right, so is this thing rolling here? Shoot. Well, buddy, we got the podcast set up in the bedroom, so that's sick. We've had some people ask us if we would do a podcast, and we've done a podcast before, right? So we did a podcast in our kitchen. Yeah, and Isaac still lived in Kentucky, so it's been a long time, but we're just hopping on here to test this thing out because we might do a podcast and we might start posting it. Yeah. Because we got a lot of good stories and a lot of good things to talk about. So, anyways, we're set up.
Well, yeah, I think we have too much good stuff to not talk about. I don't have the same childhood as you guys, but you guys have some pretty freaking wild stories.
Yeah, we got some good stuff, man.
I think sitting up there in Montana at the elk camp, telling old Dennis
Long John
Johnson, and our boy
Dylan Johnson
about our stories, your guys' stories especially. It was fun listening to him. I was like, frick, we've been asked several times about a podcast, and I think now it's the time to get off the pot. Poop or get off the pot.
I agree. I think it's time to fire. Boys, I think it's time to fire up the podcast. We've been watching our boys Dave and Dino on their podcast.
Hold on, I'm getting a call.
It's Uncle's calling.
Uncle's calling.
Hey, look, if you haven't watched Dave and Dean from Tag and Brag,
goose chasing.
Just a little goose chasing out here on the pod.
Oh, yeah.
And your neighbor walks over and he's got the Italian meats.
God bless.
God bless. And sister walks over with the Stromboli. She comes over. She's bringing you some good Stromboli.
God bless.
God bless. That's right. Anyways,
yeah,
we got all kinds of stuff to talk about.
Well, Frick, let's just give an update about what we've been doing recently and kind of where we're at now.
All right. Well, Chase and I just got back from a Montana trip that was sick. We went out to Bozeman, Montana with Isaac, and as we mentioned, one of our friends, Dylan Johnson, shout out Dylan Johnson. He took us out to some public land out in Montana.
God bless.
And he had the full setup, man. We were out there camping.
Man, he treated us like royalty. Him and his dad. Dude, shout out to them.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this video to drop. Once this movie drops, we don't know how we want to drop it. If we want to drop it in parts or then just drop it as a whole movie, but it's going to drop at some time. And you guys are going to need to be ready.
Dude, Dennis Johnson.
Start making the popcorn now.
Dennis Johnson, Dylan's dad, is the coolest guy I've ever seen.
We got to get him on the podcast.
We've got to get him on the podcast. This guy, if you are
pretty cool.
If you are a hunter and you have grown up being introduced to the hunting world, this guy is a legend, and he's probably got his own podcast that nobody knows about. But here's the thing about Dennis. He is Tom Miranda in the flesh, and he's like infused with Clint Eastwood. His voice.
And Matthew, a little bit of Matthew McConaughey, maybe?
It's perfect for the podcast.
He doesn't know it.
He kind of talks like this.
It's really deep, like
it's real deep and
yeah,
mystical
over there at Dad's Creek.
All right, boys, are we gonna get up and go hunt some elk, or are we gonna sleep in?
Oh, I can't wait for you guys to see this video. It's gonna be a freaking movie. It'll be our best work yet, and I don't know,
dude. Not to mention, while we were in Montana, I said we kind of had the bougie setup with.
No, we got treated like royalty.
Dennis brought out the New York strips. He's out here cooking up New York strips over a solo stove under the Milky Way in Montana.
God bless.
These guys, man, they had four-wheelers side by side, a pop-up camper. They brought everything. They supplied us,
and they did everything. And they didn't even know us. They didn't know us. They didn't know who we were, or they knew of us. Never met us before, came out here, treated us like royalty.
Right, so Dylan saw us on Midwest Madness. He's a loyal Midwest Madness fan.
It's been out there for a hot...
And I don't like the word fan.
No.
Because me and Dylan and Isaac and Dylan and Chase and Dylan, we're all homies, right?
Straight up.
I say fan because Dylan saw us on Instagram. Actually, I think he saw that coyote video.
Me too. Not the coyote video.
The coyote video. If you haven't watched the coyote video, you ought to go check it out and make sure to stop by the comment section because that's where we get roasted.
If you think the video was good, Go look at the comments.
The comments are even better. Everybody's roasting.
It's like an Instagram reel.
Why would you do that? It's a coyote. You're not supposed to shoot a coyote.
Still to this day, there's people commenting on it. It's funny.
But
We get our own entertainment from it.
yeah, dude, that video is awesome. But Dylan saw that video and he was like, "Oh, I like these guys." He saw that video like 3 years ago, right?
So it's insane.
This was before Isaac even moved to Montana, 3 or 4 years ago now. He saw the video, liked it, went to the Midwest Madness page on Instagram, saw us, started following, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, over the years, what happened is Isaac moved to Bozeman, Montana, where Dylan is from. So Dylan was watching us from Kentucky, but he was in Bozeman, Montana, where he grew up. So when Isaac moved out there, he continued to follow along or whatever. They shot some DMs back and forth. And before you know it, Dylan asked us if he could take us out on an elk hunt. So what did we do? We got on the online and we booked the cheapest flights that we could get. And we sent it to Montana.
Yeah.
And it was the coolest thing ever, dude. That trip was absolutely amazing. Camping under the stars in Montana.
You're not going to beat it.
Dude, it was an absolutely wonderful time. And the video is amazing. Seriously, we went in depth with this video because we want you guys to experience it with us.
Yeah.
So we've been doing that. We've been working on that sucker. And we're not going to force it. We don't want to force it out there and rush it because it's so good.
We probably already have a quarter of the way done. We're already sitting at like 18 minutes of chopped up, edited footage.
Right.
Luke wrote a poem.
I wrote a poem like
for the
Zach
intro. Yeah.
So
and it's going to go hard. It's probably going to make you cry.
So we did that. That was amazing. And then we've also been out here. It is hunting season for whitetail in Kentucky. So we've been out here getting the farm ready.
Yep.
Doing a little food plot action.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I love that when I do this podcast, I start talking. Anytime I say food plot, I start talking like Dave and Dean from Tag and Brag.
Getting that accent. Yep.
I start to get that food plot crannies.
I don't know if it's a New York accent, a Minnesota.
I think it's Ohio.
Yeah, that northern. My family has that. They're from northern Ohio. They talk like that.
Those guys are awesome, man. We love them.
Yeah, so big shout out to the Johnson family for treating us like royalty and really going out of their way to show us a freaking good time. You guys spoiled us, and there's probably not ever going to be another hunt that went just as good as that.
Right. Except for next time we're going to get a bull down. So we're going to go back out there for rifle season. Spoiler. We're going to go out there for rifle season.
In the snow.
Isaac's going to absolutely slock Big Louie walking around the hills. We got close, man. We got freaking close.
We got in their bedroom close.
We were in Buddy's living room.
But when you guys see the footage, I mean, we're in the thick of it. I mean, we're in the back country. No cell service, 4 days.
The deadfall. We hiked.
Man.
We hiked 100 miles.
We put the Rocky boots to the test.
Put those Rocky boots to the test, man.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was the most fun. You know, it's funny, too, because this isn't an ad break, but Chase and I, we got these Rocky boots.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rocky Boot, right?
Yep.
So we got these Rocky boots. We had never worn them. They got shipped to our house 2 days before we
procrastinated about ordering them.
Right. We left out to Montana with 2 brand new sets of Rocky boots.
Still got this squeak on them when you walk on some concrete.
Everybody in Montana roasted us.
Yeah.
You guys are going to get blisters. Your feet are going to be killing you.
Yeah.
What are you doing showing up here with a new pair of boots not broken in? Guess what? No joke. We hiked 100 miles in these Rocky boots.
We put them
no
through
blissies.
No blissies, no hot foot.
That's right. They kept my feet dry.
All dry.
They weren't nasty. And
the Mountain Stalker Pro.
Mountain Stalker Pro. I think that's what it is.
We got them sitting right there.
And they're the boas. So they got the twist knobs.
So nice
for the laces. Because if you get back after a long day of hiking, man,
not even what he's... Yeah.
Oh, with the
laces. Even there were some times we started going up some pretty steep terrain.
Click them in.
Just tighten them up. Okay, get some ankle support.
And we ride.
Yeah.
We ride up the mountain.
Let's ride.
And we go find some elk. So that's that. So we got that. We got the Montana elk hunt. That was
Montana elk hunt.
We've been out here scouting, setting food plots in for the late season.
Yeah.
We've been hanging trail cameras, checking trail cameras. We just went out the other day and we dumped a whole pile of apples out there. And we don't look
from my apple tree.
Look, we don't have corn out
No.
there. We're not dumping corn, but we got like 200 acres of natural corn. We're not going to the store and buying these bags from Walmart of this apple corn. I don't know why, but we just don't hunt like that.
No.
So the only thing that we have done that I guess you would consider baiting is we took some apples from an apple tree.
Yep.
They fell on the ground. We put them all in a bucket, and we dumped them out there in front of the trail camera. This was 2 days ago. So we're going to have a monster on there. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah.
Going to be a monster on there.
There's some rubs back there too where we got the stand set up.
Right. Okay, first off, controversial subject here. This might be a hot take. Welcome back to Midwest Madness
Topic.
Hot Takes.
Hot take.
Hunting on the ground is primal.
Yeah.
And it makes hunting challenging, which is what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
We're not
The
hunting
root of hunting.
over
Yeah.
a corn pile. We've got our bows, and we're sitting on the ground. We're getting eye level.
The butt is getting numb.
The butt is numb, and you're getting it eye level with these animals. And when they come in, when it happens, it is the most adrenaline rushing thing that you can do. I swear to you, shooting a deer on the ground with your bow is primal. It brings us back to our roots. It's what hunting really is. It's supposed to be a challenge. It's a chase. Dude, I haven't killed a buck in forever.
I haven't bow hunted, so this will be the first year, and I'm excited for it. I've always rifle hunted back there, and once I shot my first buck and my only buck, I haven't really gone back out and hunted just because it's just with a rifle, and I don't get that same adrenaline rush. I mean, you get it for a split second, but like you said, it's just not primal, and I'm searching for that adrenaline rush.
Well, there you go, buddy. I'm telling you, hunting from the ground, right? You get down there, you have to be creative. You don't have the same feel as a tree stand where you're up and you're out of view of everything. You got to get creative with where you're sitting on the ground, what your thermals are doing, what the wind's doing,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. You got to find the right spot where you're close enough to be able to get a good shot off with a
This
bow.
is called hunting.
But you also have to be in a space that has enough openings to be able to shoot the animal. It's a challenge, man. It's not for everybody, but for some reason we love it. Maybe we're Western-style hunters, and we would rather be spot and stalking these animals. But I think getting on the ground, moving through the woods slow, man, sometimes just taking a bow and walking real slow through the woods and seeing what's in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that won't do that. I love it. I love sneaking through the woods. Move a few hundred yards, stand by a tree for a little while. See what's out there. You're not going to go through there tromping around, causing all kinds of racket. But if you take your bow, man, and you're just quiet, and you just little by little move your way through the woods or whatever you're hunting, it's so much fun. It's the coolest thing ever. That's how I like to hunt. You know, my success rate is not going to be as high as some of these guys who put out thousands of dollars worth of corn. That's fine if that's you. I'm not saying that's wrong.
It's a tool.
If you don't have all the time in the world, it's nice to be able to know what's in there and go out and shoot it. But I would rather spend a whole season walking around the woods or sitting on the ground or spot and stalking these animals and get close and have some cool stories but not end up with one than I would sitting in a tree stand on opening morning and watching the same buck that pretty much should have a collar and tags at this point eat some corn right in front of me at 20 yards and make a good shot. I don't know why. Personal preference, but it's how I like to hunt. So we don't even have tree stands hung back there right now.
No, we were
We're just walking around.
supposed to get some tree stands, but a little air right there. But no, I think even going out to Montana and then just hiking and stalking the animal and learning about what the animal's doing and the way they act, there's just so much more to it. I think that we miss out on a lot of what hunting has to bring to us. And, I mean, it is a primal instinct. It's what our ancestors used to do. As cliche as it is, our ancestors used to literally do that.
They had to. They had to come back home with food. They had to provide, and they didn't have all the bougie tools that we have, man. We're so lucky to have these compound bows that we can shoot an animal up to, 100 yards with. Dude, they're out there making their own bows. They're on the ground. They have to get smart about the animal. That's what I love about it. I absolutely love getting primal, and getting out there with the animals and figuring out how they live, where they are, trying to locate a buck specifically, and then chase after him. The chase is so much fun. I absolutely love it. So there's another thing right there. The content that we post is not always going to be
a grand slam.
It's not always going to be a grand slam. It's not always going to be a picture with this monster buck that we shot or a montage of kill shot videos.
Yeah.
What we are trying to bring to the outdoor space is raw and authentic content.
Yeah.
We're in my bedroom right now filming this podcast because to us this is real. It's authentic. We're not trying to force anything. We're not trying to be too professional. We want to show the people who watch our stuff that you can get out there and do it too. Like, get a bow. It doesn't have to be something absolutely insane. Look, I've got a Matthews sitting over here in the corner. This is a Matthews Triax. It's a very expensive, very, very good bow. But I also have these bear bows back here. These are mid-range bows. These are middle of the line bows that cost like $5.99, right? They do just as good as the $2,000 Matthews that sits over there in the corner. Anybody can do this thing, man. You can literally get out in the woods and experience this for yourself, and that's what it's all about. That's what we want to show. We want to show people that you don't have to go out and have a kill shot in every single video. If you wait for all the stars to align, it's not going to happen. You have to just make real and authentic content. Dude, we went out yesterday in the woods, right? It's pouring down rain. We go out in the woods. We have no agenda other than to go out there and enjoy it and create something authentic. So I post this video to our Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just the sound of the rain and videos of the leaves falling and me out there shooting my bow. And it's not going to go mega viral. It's just not. But to me, it meant more than that. It's authentic and it's real. And it actually captures the experience that we had. There are no deer in that video. There's no kill shot in that video. We didn't go do something absolutely insane, but it's real and it's legit. It's authentic, and we had a great time doing it. I want to capture those memories, and I want to post them to our page. If you want to watch them, that's awesome. We would love that. If you don't, that's fine. It's okay. We're doing this because we genuinely love having these experiences and documenting them. So one day we can look back and say, dude, you remember that time we went out during a rainstorm and we just made coffee and a little fire and we had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
We've captured that on film. It's so cool to be able to look back at those things. So our content might be a little different, but I think the key is people want to see things that they can relate to.
The authenticity.
Exactly. They don't need to see you go out and shoot a monster every single time.
Yeah.
It's seeing the excitement.
Yeah, and we're
just being out there.
Yeah.
That people can connect with. That's what we're doing, man. We're trying to bring that to the outdoor industry. And we also like the lifestyle thing, man. Like, we go to the gym. We go to the gym all the time.
Play some golf.
We play some golf. Why would we not film those things?
Run some triathlons.
We've done some triathlons. Why would we not film those things and create a genuine and authentic interaction with the people watching our stuff? You have to create personalities, right?
Yeah.
If we just go out and we shoot a monster buck every video, the people don't get the same
connection.
The same connection.
Yeah.
You don't get to see like the behind the scenes personality, how we react when we don't kill something, or just what we do in our everyday lives.
Yeah.
So while they're filming those things, man, and we're posting, we're having fun doing it.
Yeah, I think we're also inspiring people out there to show that, listen, man, we started on a freaking Rebel T6i, like T5i, and, we started freaking making hunting motivational content and
doing very well on YouTube, by the way. We filmed that when we were sophomores in high school.
It's still blowing up to this day. And you know what? And I think just kind of like a side quest here, but still kind of on topic. I think going out and filming stuff like that, showing our personality, showing that we're not getting a monster buck every time we go out. It's showing people that it's possible. And that's what this whole thing is about. It's not about just trying to get some clout. And, that stuff will come when you show your true personality, you show who you are, you go out, you have some type of, realness about you that somebody can relate. Not everybody out in the world is going to go out to a 200-acre farm every time and shoot a monster buck. That's just not what's going to happen.
Yeah,
You're going to have so many failures. Go check out Adam's buck video. We hunted 8 total times before we shot his pretty good buck. And, we hunted all throughout bow season. Never got close enough. Rifle season came. We went out there, the Orange Army. And, I ordered my men,
Take a nap.
Yeah, take a nap. Eat some Chips Ahoy. You know what, guys? Go check out the video. But you know what? SideQuest, we're just out here creating real content. And I think, it's probably not paying off right now, but we're not here to make the next viral video like what Luke said. I think there's beauty in the process. And I think so many people skip out on that process because they think that everybody wants to see the hitless buck. And you know what? A lot of people do like to watch that, but
and we'll create those videos too.
Yeah,
when
they'll come. Yeah.
It's not every time.
Yeah, and I mean, you hit it right on the head about just creating real content, and that's just kind of who we are. I mean, we're really not much different off camera than we are on camera.
No, there's a lot of people, man. We've worked for guys.
For some big names.
We worked for some big YouTubers. We've been in contact with some big YouTubers. We've been on pages with, 5 million, 10 million people watching, right?
Yeah.
We've been there. We've seen, what goes on. And
it's not at the level that what we're producing, but what we're producing is straight up real. You guys right now listening, even if you don't have a camera, the daggum phone in your pocket can do just as well.
Dude, go ask Dylan Johnson. Dylan Johnson had followed us on social media. We hung out in person, and he said, you guys are exactly the same off the camera as you are on the camera. And you know what? I think he even liked us better off of the camera because sometimes it's hard to capture everything.
Yeah.
We've got such a unique group, dude.
Yeah.
We've got some really great guys. Man, Isaac lives in Montana. For us to be in Kentucky and be able to make that connection over that much distance and still produce content and flow the two together. Montana and Kentucky, they're very different. To be able to flow those two together so well, I think is super cool. And Isaac's up there absolutely killing it, man.
Yeah.
He works a normal job.
He's grinding.
He works for an irrigation company, and he leads those guys well. Isaac walks into the office every morning, and he puts up a verse of the day on his whiteboard, right?
Yep.
He prays with the leaders of his teams to have a good day. He is inspiring people at his job the same that he does on social media in front of the camera. He's a great dude. Adam, same way.
Yeah.
He goes to work. He works a normal job. Works at a distribution center. And I think that's what it is. He works at a distribution center. He leads his team very well. He has employees come to him and say thank you all the time for just going over and beyond. And
that's all it really takes. And that goes for our whole friend group.
Exactly. Everybody that we surround ourselves with are positive dudes who want to do things that are a little bit different than everybody else. We're unique. We're a unique group. We like to do side quests, as we call them, and go run a triathlon together or do something. Because training for that, we're all out there training for it. It builds the bond between us and creates something that a lot of people have lost. Yeah. So, we got an awesome friend group. We've got the coolest guys. And so, to be able to put faces with the names and the stories in front of the camera is super cool. That's something that we're working on. We're trying to get better at. And
we're just documenting what we already do.
Right. We already are doing this stuff. And so we're trying to bring you guys along with us. We're trying to create those real moments where it's like you feel like you're just hanging out with us. We don't need to force anything. We don't need to go out and spend, $5,000 on some budget for a video or $100,000 on a video.
Or go buy a piece of property or do any of that noise.
No, I'm all about going to Walmart and buying the cheapest rod and the baits from the $1 box. You know what? I'm all about going and buying candy from the dollar store and throwing it on a hook and catching a 5-pound bass. That's all it takes, man. Chase and I would have done that anyways.
Yeah.
We're kind of idiots sometimes. We just do some some weird stuff, okay? Not everything has to be so technical. Go out and have some fun with what you're doing.
And man, that's where so many people are just getting lost at. A lot of people want to go create this content, and we were kind of like that for a little bit. But that's when we were like in high school. We were like, oh, we gotta have the next nicest camera, the Canon 1DX Mark II. We don't have that. We can't get slow mo. Our videos will be trash. And kind of thought that way for the longest time. And then we're just like, something must have clicked. But we're just like, man, F it. We'll just go out. We'll film whatever.
We're just gonna shoot whatever we're doing anyways.
Yeah,
It's gonna be great content either way. If nobody watches it,
it's just I think
we're still making it.
I think the fact that I see where we're at now is I think we're just making content for ourselves and we're just putting it out there.
And people who want to watch,
It'll attract the right people.
right? You put yourself out there, and the people who are drawn to you are gonna watch anyways.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. We're having a great time doing it. I absolutely love making this content. It doesn't feel like a chore to me because I'm not tied down by a paycheck. We're not, we're not like making a bunch of money off of this thing. Now, we might make a little money here and there to help pay for a flight or something.
Yeah.
We got some great brands that we work with to help us out with equipment and, might help us out with, getting some boots or whatever. But we're literally just doing this because we enjoy doing it and we love it. And the amount of stories that we have, dude, it's absolutely insane. The childhood stories Chase was talking about. We're going to film podcasts where we talk all about that.
Yeah.
We've got, dude, the stories that we have are absolutely insane.
We're going to have some good guests.
Dude, we had a childhood like no other, and we did some really, really cool things. And we're blessed enough that our parents gave us the freedom to go out and explore and learn in the woods and in the creeks and in the ponds and just mess around, man. And you can't ask for anything more than that. So with this podcast that I'm assuming we're going to continue doing, we're going to make it better. That's what we want to bring you along for, man. We're not here to waste your time or anything like that. If you don't want to listen, that's cool.
Yeah, I think a podcast helps just, you only see so much of a person off Instagram. Then you only see so much of a person on YouTube. A podcast gives us that opportunity to, peel back the skin, see a little bit more about us, kind of dive more deep into what our operation looks like, kind of how we move, how we hunt, a bunch of just stuff so that you guys can connect with us and we can connect with you. This is all it's about.
Right. We just want you guys to be able to hear from us directly. We don't need to edit it. We don't even have,
I'm literally,
this thing. We literally were just, like, all right, let's film a podcast and let's just talk for a second. And that's what we do every day anyways, so we might as well just do it in front of a mic.
Yeah.
We got all kinds of good things, man. We got motivation stuff that we talk about with our friends every single day. And we've got, stories that we talk about with our friends every single day. Why not just post it? Yeah. So that's the goal for this podcast, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested in listening, and if you've listened this far, we appreciate it. We appreciate every single one of you guys. We are doing this for us, but also we want to inspire people.
Yeah.
We want people to enjoy the content that they're watching. We want it to feel relatable. So if you like that, if you like hearing stories all about it, if you want to get to know us more, this podcast can be a great spot to do that. So, with that said, I think this could be our first official podcast post. We'll see how everything goes, but I think it went pretty well. And so I'm Luke. If you don't know me yet, this is Chase. Chase is the best friend anybody could ever ask for, and we just, we're living life together. And
buddy,
it's a normal life, but we're documenting our experiences, and that's part of Midwest Madness. It's who we are, man. So anyways, if you guys liked this podcast, make sure to subscribe and follow along with the podcast. Pay the fee, man.
Yeah.
Share it to a friend. That's a page out of Andy Frisella's book.
Come
on. Pay the fee. Share this podcast with somebody else. And we don't need you to pay us any money or anything like that. This is free content, free dopamine.
Yeah.
Share it with a friend. Tell your neighbor about it. Tell your parents about it. Whatever. We'd love to have you guys listen in again. And we'll be back very soon with another podcast episode.
Oh, yeah.
You got anything to add?
Yeah, I don't think we have a schedule planned at all for this podcast.
We don't have a schedule planned because we just planned on doing this one about an hour ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long we filmed for, but
I can't really tell.
But we don't really have a schedule. So We're going to post more and let you guys know when we're going to post these podcasts. But if you enjoyed it, we appreciate you for listening, and we will catch you on the next Midwest Madness podcast.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.
That was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not a bad podcast. Not bad at all.